Look at almost any modern life, and you'll find a familiar rhythm, a constant hum of anxiety about the future, layered over the exhaustion of chasing one desire after another. When internal pressure builds, our default instinct is to change our geography. We try to manipulate the physical world to fix what we feel inside. We switch jobs, we end relationships, we move to new cities. But within a few months, that same restless hum creeps back in. The scenery has changed, but the mind remained the same. The teachings of Jeevan Path offer a direct counter to this instinct. Instead of rearranging the furniture of your life, this philosophy suggests looking at the room itself. If moving 3,000 miles away doesn't cure your anxiety, the friction is coming from the lens through which you are viewing the world, rather than the physical world itself. There is a foundational rule of perception at play here. We do not experience reality as it objectively is. We experience it as we are internally. Look at this graphic comparing two states of mind. Our thoughts act like a projector, casting our internal reality outward. When the mind is still, the world is calm. When agitated, it perceives trouble. The environment hasn't changed, only the projector has. This shifts the focus of any lasting change away from the external world and back toward the projector itself. Purification of the mind becomes the only way to purify our experience of reality. But the mind is a tool, and every tool implies a user. To change the projection, we must identify the one casting it. A genuine spiritual inquiry begins by looking past the images on the screen to the source of the light. It starts by confronting the single most profound question: who am I? Usually, when someone asks who we are, we recite our resume. We list our job title, our physical characteristics, and our history, describing an identity we have constructed over time. Jeevan Path outlines two distinct selves operating within us, and this chart breaks down the conflict between them. On the left is the perceived self, the ego. It identifies with the fluctuating body, lives in past regrets or future anxieties, and operates under the illusion that it is the active doer of every action. Now look at the right column, the true self, or Atma. This is the unchanging, silent witness to experience. It doesn't act or react, it simply observes, providing a source of peace that exists only in the present moment. Our suffering stems from a critical error, identifying with the fragile, transient ego instead of the permanent witness watching it. The path focuses on systematically dismantling your identification with the ego to reveal the permanent Atma beneath. To cross this inner terrain, we use a tool called Atma Vichara, or self-inquiry. Look at these ripples radiating on the water. Self-inquiry is not about finding a verbal answer. It is the practice of taking the feeling of I and tracing it backward to its origin point. The text uses a striking metaphor. It compares the question, who am I, to a stick used to stir a funeral pyre. As you ask it, the individual ego dissolves. Eventually, the question destroys all other thoughts and is finally itself destroyed. While this internal work is happening, we still have to exist in the physical world and meet our responsibilities. This is karma, action without attachment. You perform your duties with clarity and purpose, letting go of the anxiety regarding the specific outcome or reward. Wisdom expresses itself through the combination of internal self-inquiry and detached action in the real world. What does life look like when the constructed identity finally falls away? Jeevan Path describes its destination as a state of being where the inner and outer worlds exist in harmony. This text outlines 4 characteristics of a life aligned with the true self: clarity, peace, freedom, and integration. In this state, knowledge, love, and compassion are no longer spiritual chores. Once the ego is removed, these virtues become the natural expression of who you are. The ultimate map to navigating the universe wasn't hidden in the world. It was hidden behind the illusion of your own mind all along.